All right, welcome back to another edition of Zip and Kuda ranking your teams.
Judging you harshly.
The accuracy, as always, is questionable, but it's fun. It's fun.
I disagree. I think anyone who questions us deserves to be placed last in the next one because we're that unbiased and flawless.
I guess that's fair. Also, I just realized Z captains are on the actual doc. I thought I was gonna have to search for it on the rosters page or whatever. Nice.
Oh, what doesn't Uzi think of?
What a fine gentleman. What a
Indeed.
fine young lad. So, this is IBL Season 11. I'm actually not competing. Unless somebody drops out and I have to fill in again. But hopefully that does not happen. Fingers crossed.
But despite that, and despite your slightly more detached nature this season, you did win the chip two seasons ago. So
Yes, that is true. Shout out to Karachi, the most skilled playoff run of my life.
no hacks.
None whatsoever. Let me tab over real quick. So this is a little bit different than what I've done before. That is not what I wanted. Let me tab over here. There we go. So we're actually going to do, look, there it is. Zip and Kuda IBL tier list maker. I don't know why that is. Also, I hope these ads right here do not pull up anything that I've searched and that I do not want the people to know that I've searched. You know what I mean?
These are really into flooring.
These are usually targeted. I'm just really into home appliances and furniture and shit. Yeah, I can't get enough. All right, so
I've been telling you for years, man. You gotta stop buying ottomans.
I can't help it, dude. They're so nice. They're so nice to have around.
Cool. Especially the storage ones you can put your blankies in. God damn.
Oh my gosh, the utility on those. Unmatched.
Speaking of utility.
Yeah, so our first team here is going to be the Undella Lilligants. And real quick, I'm going to say this for a lot of teams probably, but I just love this logo.
Yeah, that's a really cool one.
I just like I don't know, it's on a beach, which that's like the town in black and white, right? Where you fight Cynthia there, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, dude. I think it's the water gym place.
It's somewhere. It's somewhere late in the game. I know that.
Yeah, my Poke geography is lacking at best.
Yeah, I am in the same boat, my friend. But I'm gonna say this also. I think Lily tends to draft really, really well. I always like her teams.
Most definitely.
I think they're super threatening. She's got the Vaporeon Mega Aggron combo. That is, I've drafted that combo before, and it can be really hard to break.
Yeah, it's a tried and true core for a good reason. Because I know that UU core back in Gen 6, Gen 7 was a Melemele. So you miss out on Regenerator, but you add a lot more offensive utility. Switching from Melemele to Vaporeon for sure.
Right, well, Vaporeon has a good base special attack.
Exactly.
You don't even have to invest into it.
Especially for water types, just Scalds anyway. You're getting value anytime you click Scald into something that's not Guts or Water Absorb.
Right, yeah, just the base 30% chance to burn. Super helpful.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I heard you start to say it, but Flip Turn, so big. Vaporeon's base 60 or 65 or something speed.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Relatively slow. You're going to be able to get a lot of things in for free with that, even if they stay in. So, man, she's got 2 elite flying types. You don't think of Salamence as a flying type, really?
Right.
But Tornadus and Salamence, that's a threatening one, too.
And she got Tornadus. So Tornadus, I think, is a top tier Draftmon anyway in non-Z Natdex drafts. But Z move Tornadus is ridiculous because it still gets Regenerator, so it's a really good knockoff switch in because you're not losing the Z Crystal and it's weaker, and then you don't have to worry about missing with Supersonic Sky Strike.
Man, I didn't even think of that. So Tornadus T and Galarian Slowbro. Well, you can also tech the fighting Z Crystal, right? So you're not limited to just okay. So
yeah, you can only the Z Captains are the only ones that can do it, but you can do whatever you want as long as it's not an Omni boost. So Como, for example, isn't running that ridiculous damage dealing Omni boost move.
So no Z Celebrate is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
Yeah.
Because if you get an Omni boost, like let's say in the finals, I mean, you could just win right then and there. That'd be so dumb.
Exactly. You know? And watch, I'm going to get that rule slightly wrong, and the first comment will be, Zip, you're a chump.
Well, you're a chump regardless. But
shout out Brecker, referring to me almost exclusively as a Zip chump.
That's a good one. There's so many fun things you can do with Zip Thump and just slight variations to it.
Yeah, it's great. It's already a penis joke, too. So
yeah, so it's pretty elite. I'm trying to look at holes for her team, and it's kind of tough. I can't really see like a major weakness where if I was building against this, I would exploit it.
I wonder if there is something of a gap in speed tiers, because Tornadus is like 121 somewhere around there. Infernape so. 108, Salamence 100. I guess Raichu and G Mr. Mime are probably pretty fast too. So
I think Raichu's like 110.
That feels right.
Slowbro's like 30.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's got Rotom, which is 86, and Aggron, which is like 50 or so. She's got pretty good speed tiers also.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do that thing where I look at the first 4 mons, I'm like, and then I forget that there's like 12.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in IBL, you have to draft 12. That's why you end up with things like Herdier at the tail end of the draft.
Yeah, cute little mustache.
Do you think she drafted Galarian Mr. Mime so that Grimmsnarl would never have to worry about Screen Cleaner? Do you think she was thinking that far ahead?
I mean, honestly, at that point in the draft, because there was a huge like low-tier blitz too, I wouldn't be surprised if that crossed her mind. Because that is kind of nice that you don't have anything that can just switch in and undo one of Grimmsnarl's best utility roles.
Yeah, setting screens. I would love to see her run my favorite Grimmsnarl snet, which is it's just bulk up, Spirit Break, Rest, Sleep Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then you get like, I mean, Sleep Talk is RNG, but if you get a couple bulk ups, rest up, and then you start doing Prankster Sleep Talk, so you're always attacking first while you're asleep too.
Yeah, that's sick.
Because the crazy thing about that set is it lowers their special attack. So
yeah, that's insane actually.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun set.
I also just really love the versatility across the board on her team. Like, Tornadus is a set of sweeper. It's a really great pivot offensive and defensively. That Assault Vest set is stupid bulky. You got Infernape that can be like a Rocks lead, special or physical attacker with priority on both sides. We already talked about how Vaporeon is a decently offensive bulky mon. And you got Rotom Mo. Those Rotoms are always gadget mons, and I love Salamence as a utility mon. It's got awesome bulky sets with Wish, Defog Roost, and then Scarf sets with Moxie. You can run special easily too. She's got so many options with this team. I play Lily week 1, and I was looking at it. I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna guess what she's bringing. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like that's what I like about teams in general is when they can be when you look at it and you're like, I have no idea what they're gonna do, because most of her mons are freed up from like a specific role. You know what I mean? So
exactly. And like even G
like
Slowbro can be a Trick Room sweeper. I've had people run that against me pretty successfully.
Dude, yes. Galarian Slowbro, it could be physical or special as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it's got the shell sidearm?
Yeah, so that one always does the stat that will do the most damage. But here, let me pull up its stats real quick, because I think it has a very useful attack stat.
Yeah, good hazard control. She's got... her only hazards are rocks. So, I mean, if she wanted spikes, sticky webs, toxic spikes, any of those, it just sounded very southern right there, I think.
You did a little bit. You kind of slipped into a drawl.
Oh, man.
But yeah. Also, just while I have it up, Glowbro does have 100 in both attack and special attack, which is really nice.
That's pretty good. I actually did not realize it had base 100 attack.
Yeah, it's really good.
Are you tiering these also, or is it just me doing it?
I figured we would just kind of like discuss it and see where we think they should slot.
That's fair. Where's her logo? Right here. Okay. I'm thinking this might be elite contender already. To be honest, it's either. It's kind of hard because it's the first one, but it's definitely at least here.
I think let's put it in can win it all because, like you said, it's kind of hard to poke any holes in this team. But until we see some more, because I think elite contender is. As much as all these are kind of like a feel thing, I think Elite Contender is a relational thing.
Yeah, we probably should leave that top tier for like the ones we really feel are special, like the top 3 or 4 or so.
Right, and not saying this one won't be there at the end, but it's hard to put the first one in Elite Contender. Oh, God.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So we have, 18 teams to get through? We're on the second one, and I'm just hoping I can make it the rest of the video because... God damn, I'm turned on. Look at this team, dude.
Oh, no.
Dude, the draft channel, I just tried to avoid it other than when I put a pic or 2 in for you.
Some of which you supplied the pictures for, might I add.
Just the, one of them. Which one was it? Milotic, I think.
I don't know. Let's just say it was the worst one.
Yeah, it probably was. Okay, so why don't you describe to the audience what your team theme was, since this is your team after all.
So, last season, due to a hockey-based bet where the Blue Jackets ended up beating Uzi's Dallas Stars, I was given the privilege of drafting Uzi's team for him. And I went ahead and drafted him the most frustrating team ever because it was based around the move Glare. I think almost every Mon on that team had Glare except for Mega Houndoom and Torpal. And he ended up taking home the championship. So to pay me back, he offered to draft mine for me. And a couple weeks ago, he came up with the idea of drafting only furry bait. I could not besmirch the Mew Jackets' good name, and so I'm switching to the Chicago Seel Clubbers for this season. But you know what? I'm looking at this. This team looks really fun to use, even if it is based on some of the darker corners of the internet.
Yeah, so, looking at the team, it is still threatening. It's very offensive. I don't see a lot of, you've got Nidoqueen, Milotic. I guess AV Serena could take some hits, but...
I like AV Gardevoir too, because you can trace or generator sometimes too, which is really nice.
Yeah, so, I think you're going to be playing very fast-paced. Your team's just trying to get off quick, basically, is the
it's
the
doing
name
what?
of trying to get off quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Your team's a bunch of Minutemen, essentially. Just...
we can't say the furry bait team wants to get off quick.
We can and we did, all right?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
No, but seriously, I think... I haven't looked at the... So, I didn't mention this, but one of the reasons why I was excited to do this is I haven't actually looked at all these teams.
Nice.
I have a loose idea of what people drafted. I knew about your theme, and I know what some other people drafted, kind of, but... Mm-hmm. I'm going into this pretty blind, actually, so...
That's kind of fun.
It is fun. Usually when I'm in the draft and everything, I'm a little bit more involved, so... I feel like your team is going to end up being one of the ones that is more matchup dependent. Mm. And I always feel that way, to be honest, when I see a team as offensive as this that doesn't have a lot of defensive switch-ins or anything like that.
Right. It's going to be a lot about positioning for sure.
Oh, yeah. I think, one of the biggest strengths you have is just momentum. You've got...
Yeah.
Most of your best Pokemon have some kind of, U-turn or Volt Switch, Flip Turn, something along those lines.
Yeah,
so,
I think 8 of my Pokemon have momentum in some form.
Does Gardevoir get Teleport?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah, I think pretty much all the way until Milotic, you've got Lucario and Nidoqueen. That's the only ones that can't pivot.
Yeah, and Probopass gets Volt Switch.
Okay, so even through that, I didn't even think of that. So that's pretty insane, I must admit.
Yeah, Uzi actually did a really good job of catering to how I've been playing lately. Like, I do like Milotic is a sort of like Pokemon I appreciate because it has usable offensive stats and momentum. But like, I have been trending towards a more offensive playstyle lately, so I'm really excited to go with this one for sure.
Oh yeah, I think you'll have a blast for sure. I mean, Zeraora and Megalop, those two can break down a lot of teams. And then, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, obviously, but I think Zoroark pretending to be Megalop is super strong because,
yeah,
I mean, for obvious reasons, there's the synergy between fighting and dark. So something switches in trying to counter Megalop, and Zoroark just hits him with a special attack like a Dark Pulse or whatever.
I'm also really excited about the possibility of hiding it as Zero Aura, baiting in those ground types for big chip, or to like switcheroo a ring target onto him, so then Zero Aura can have an easier time cleaning.
Oh, that's a fun idea. You probably shouldn't have told people you were going to do that, but that is fun.
No, I want them planning for it every single time.
And then you just don't ever bring it?
Yeah.
Classic.
I don't have the stones for that. It's just a cool idea.
So, with this being your team, I mean, do you see like any major weaknesses or potential?
Yeah, there were a couple things. Uzi in the power rankings referred to this as Probopass trying to keep a bunch of horny children in check. Because Probopass is probably the least fitting for the furry bait theme.
No. But, look at that stash. What are you talking about?
That's true. It's a real. No.
If any of these have starred in adult films, it's definitely Probopass. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the nicknames are writing themselves at the moment. But like for one of the reasons we picked up Probopass was because my only other hazard setter at that point was Nidoqueen. So like I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble with hazard control. Serena and Noivern, I believe, are my only removers too. So I'm a little bit lacking in the hazard department. But honestly, on a team this offensive, I don't know how much I'm gonna be wanting to click defog anyway. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. So let me see here. I'm gonna go back to the tier list. Oh, I was looking for Mew. Dude, this is so hard.
It keeps freaking me out too.
I
agree.
I'm probably gonna put you here for now.
That's what I think so too, because like it is offensive enough that I don't think I'm gonna be on the back foot too often. I want to make playoffs. That's my goal. I don't think I'm gonna win it all.
Yeah, I think you could win it all. I just think it's unlikely. Like, that's how I'm gonna put it.
No, I totally agree with that.
Like I see this as a definite, like, not definite, but a high chance you still make playoffs and have a successful season. But for sure, I think there's just going to be some more well-rounded teams. And
yeah, totally.
Like, this is not like we're not taking into account the coach's strength and weaknesses. It's just strictly on the draft itself. So
exactly.
Yeah, because
I'm a stud.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, look at the team you drafted.
Yeah, oh god, my hair on.
You have to be. All right. Oh, real quick, we didn't touch on your Z captains, Lucario and Zera.
Yeah, I'm excited about Zero Aura because just like, you know, whatever the Black Hole Eclipse and like whatever the hell the fire one is named, it's just gonna make it have an easier time against ground types because like for the most part, bulky ground you're just gonna try and knock it off with Zero Aura. But in this case, I might be able to set up some subs and bulk ups and hit them for big damage.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be pretty terrifying. Zero Aura with Z crystals. I'm pretty sure for not including megas, isn't Zera the fastest unboosted other than like Ninjask and Electrode and shit?
Yeah, I think Electrode, Ninjask, Regieleki are faster.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, base 143.
Yeah, that's definitely a valuable thing to have for sure.
And I won't spill the secrets I've talked about with Woodsy about some Z options that Lucario gets.
Ooh, excited to see it.
Foreboding.
All right, next we've got Isaac, who is one of the... I mean, I don't have IBL stats in front of me, but he's got to be one of the more successful coaches all time.
Yeah, he made the finals last season with a ridiculous core we let him get. He had Urshifu Single Strike, Dragapult, and Mega Mawile.
I can't believe you guys let that happen. That is a war crime, if I'm being honest.
It was a tough one.
So is this, though, to be honest. Mega Diancie, Scizor, and Latios. He does go for the Dragon Fairy Steel cores quite often, at the top of his draft. I mean, it's a good strategy, and picking Scizor, which is probably Diancie's hardest counter, if not one of them, just because Bullet Punch, for obvious reasons, that's bad. So picking up a Scizor, I mean, he can't get Mega Scizor, but I think that's good. He's got Galarian Zapdos too, which I've always wanted to. Yeah, I've always wanted to use it. Oh, you know what? That's actually going to be super interesting because obviously it wasn't around when Z crystals were a thing, so I wonder how well it can use it.
I think it can use it really well. With a Z move, you can just kind of run like agility on it and start nuking things. It's a really good mon. It's also, I love it being paired up with Roserade because it gets Defiant, so he's going to be able to hazard stack the hell out of people and just bait them into defogs. I think that's really cool.
All right, yeah, getting a casual Roserade Arcanine Swampert rounds 4 through 7, that's pretty value. That's really good value to get in the mid rounds. That's a really excellent Fire Water Grass score. His team is good, man.
Yeah, and he's good.
Yeah,
I could see him not bringing some of his lower tiers at all. But honestly, this is a pretty deep draft too, because you can get a lot of good utility out of Aurorus. That's going to bait even more defogs when people try and clear screens. So.
Oh yeah, and I'm just gonna say it. He did talk some shit on Aurorus. I saw that in the Discord.
Did he really?
He was regretting the pick or something. And
immediately? Yeah, he did that with everything.
So, well, it just offends me because I loved using Aurorus, and it was on my championship team for IBL.
That's true.
I ran it at Scarf a lot. It would catch people off guard, but it gets Freeze Dry and Earth Power,
Thunderbolt,
Blizzard, and Hail. It gets insane coverage. You could set up Aurora Veil, like you said.
It's rocks too, right?
Yeah, it can be Stealth Rock. I read a Sash lead once with Stealth Rock, and I think it gets Mirror Coat. I can't remember. But
I think you ran it with T-Wave a lot too, which is really nice for this team because
oh yeah,
Zapdos. I think it's base 100 speed, so it's not the fastest thing in the world. And as many times as you can run specs on Latios as possible, the better. So T-Wave's a nice one.
I think his team is definitely top heavy, but super good, super good.
If there's if we're trying to poke holes like we tried to poke my hazard hole in mine, I would have loved to see him get a spinner with the amount of hazard stacking he gets because he's not going to want to click defog too much. I mean, with this team, he can definitely have the hazard balance in his favor anyway, but I think a spinner would have been a nice pickup.
Right. I mean, he can spin block. He does have Defiant.
And he has magic bounce with Mega Diancie.
Yeah. I mean, Latios can defog. You really don't want it to, though. Scizor can defog, but same thing. You most of the time, you don't want it to do that. You'd like it to be a pivot or a Swords Dance Sweeper or something, or a Choice Bander, something along those lines. Yeah, I guess his removal kind of is weak. He's gonna be, and I don't really like putting that burden on your Magic Bouncer. I think when you have a Magic Bouncer, you should get hazard removal because then you're put into a dilemma, right?
Right.
So
yeah, you're right. He only does have those 2 defoggers that are really, really valuable offensive or pivoting ones. So yeah, it's a good call because Galarian Zapdos doesn't get it, which I guess kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I would knock it for. I think it's very strong. Otherwise, same thing with Lily. I think I'm going to put it in this tier for now. We'll probably save Elite Contender for later.
Yeah, we can hash that out at the end.
Yeah, but I'll probably put it in that tier. I think he could definitely win it all with this team for sure.
Man, just a heads up, my Discord's being funky if I disappear for a second. That's why.
Okay, that's all right. I'll just talk to the void. That's fine.
As we all do.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Ryan and the Oklahoma City Boltunds. Shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder getting the 2nd overall pick in the NBA draft lottery. By the way, we're going to be good in like 2033. It's a long rebuild process, but we'll get there. Ryan is a quirky drafter. He kind of just picks whatever he would like, to be honest. I think we did lose Zip, actually. Zip, are you still with us? Yeah, he is not with us. He'll join back in a second. So Ryan picked some classics that he tends to pick. He went with Kamala round 1. I think he's routinely said that is...
I knew that was going to...
Oh, he's back. There he is. I was just talking about how Ryan is a Kamala stan, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how many top-tier threats he got. He did his draft, like, backwards.
Honestly...
if you just look at it.
Honestly, if you look at it from right to left, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but it still worked for him, so, I mean, it's kind of hard to knock that.
That is crazy. I didn't even really, like, consider that. So, he has a Magic Bouncer as well. Mega Absol. He's got Defog on Flygon. Staraptor can defog, but that's not really ideal.
Actually, has 2 Magic Bouncers, now that I look at it.
Oh, Espeon, yep. And Cryogonal can Rapid Spin or Defog, because for some reason it gets both.
Yeah, and that's wild, actually.
Kamala, too, so...
but we all know he wants to run Choice Band and Rest Talk Last Resort, so...
Yeah, that's true. That is a Ryan favorite.
Sleep Talk Last Resort, that's right. Comatose, you don't have to run Rest.
That is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It is really cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, so you might as well not even bother laying hazards. That's the point I was getting to.
Yeah, and he's got a spin blocker, which is nice for his own.
I mean, his
the toxic.
His hazards. Oh, sorry, his hazard setting is actually not that great because he's got what T spikes on Drapion.
2 rockers.
Who's his second?
Flygon.
Flygon and who, though? Wait,
Cobalion.
I don't know that Flygon gets it.
Oh, does it not?
I don't think it does, actually.
Flygon has such a weird moveset. I feel like every time I make a guess about Flygon I'm wrong.
I could be wrong, but I don't think it does.
Now that I'm saying it, yeah, you're totally right. Yep, my bad.
Okay, so his only rocker then is Cobalion. Cobalion? Cobalion.
I say Cobalion, but everyone tells me I'm an idiot for that. It's a
Cobalion.
Cobalt Lion.
No, you're right. I think that's probably the way to go. So, I mean, here's the thing with Ryan's drafts. I always, quote-unquote, hate on them, I feel like. Because I'm looking at it, and it's just, like, so unorthodox. Like, I just feel like he doesn't consider the same things that most other people consider. Like, he's just drafting things he wants to use, which is totally fine, but...
Oh, for sure. And, like, I always have these knockdown, drag-out fights with Ryan. I don't think either one of us has ever beat the other one more than, like, 2 or 1-0. I mean, I think we're, like, dead even all time in our series. So, like, he's a really smart, creative battler, and he just uses things he knows he can do cool shit with, which I respect the hell out of.
Oh, yeah. I imagine Final Gambit's Scarf Staraptor is going to come. He's going to have some fun. So, Buzzwole and Spectrier can snowball because of Beast
Especially
Boost.
because Spectrier is one of his Z captains.
Jesus. Yeah. I wish... Okay, I take that back. So, Spectrier is really tough to handle if you don't have a normal type or a dark type. But he's got some answers to those, and Buzzwole and Cobalion. I mean, I think having 2 fighting types is actually kind of nice in that regard.
Yeah, I think fighting is one of the best types to double up on in draft.
Yeah, and I mean, Staraptor likes to run close combat anyway, so...
Yeah, I think I'm kind of going to piggyback on what you were saying. Like, Ryan does this thing where he drafts teams that I don't know quite how to evaluate because he's always going to do well. No matter what he drafts, he's really good.
Yeah.
And he's got there are a lot of things here that I consider like really good pieces. I think Cobalion is really underrated. That would have been a decent choice for a Z captain as well. Like Jellicent can be a pain in the ass, especially with strength stat. Drapion can run like 100 sets that are all cool. Aromatisse is always annoying to fight against. Always.
What was the... So I know there was some kind of rule for who you could select as your 2 captains.
One of them had to be 10 points or lower.
That's what it was, okay. So Espeon was his. I wonder, like, so what can Espeon do with Z moves? Can it...
Well, usually for evolutions, you're looking at Z Happy Hour, but that's banned.
Right.
Along with, like, I don't forget the, like, nerd term for it, but, like, you're not allowed to baton pass stat boosts. So, I don't know if he's looking to just kind of nuke it, or if he knows something about a status Z move that I don't, and I wouldn't put it past him, because, again, it's Ryan.
Ryan... This is the same guy that brought Rollout Amogus against me, and it fucking worked. So I wouldn't be surprised if he knows about some niche strategy that Espeon can use with a Z move.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop falling into the trap of looking at Ryan's draft, being confused, and saying, it's probably not that good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the same tier as you, I think.
Yeah, we can work on ordering later, but I think it's a good... I don't think this is a championship squad. I think Ryan is championship coach, but again, we're evaluating just the draft.
Just the draft. Yeah, for sure. All right, who do we got next? Oh, the Sydney Convictinis.
Oh my god, fuck this team.
It's a pretty cool logo.
Yeah, that's really cool. Look at his freaking team, man. I hate this, like, in a respectful way.
I mean, no disrespect, but fuck your team.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that I'm looking at, and I'm like, wow, I'm glad I'm not in the league, because I don't want to play it.
Yeah, at all.
I think... So I don't know how I feel about the Inteleon pick, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really?
Just because I think having 2 waters is not a bad thing. But Rotom Wash is already a pivot, and I feel like that's what Inteleon does as well. It's just faster. Because it gets it does get U-turn. So, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with having, like, 2 water types that can pivot like that. I just think it's weird to take it in the 4th round, you know?
I think, like, honestly, it's got really great stats. 120 speed, 125 special attack. And I know it runs a lot of, like, crit sort of things with Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
I think Z Focus Energy does something kind of cool, too.
Oh, it's one of his Z captains.
Yeah.
Okay, Garchomp makes perfect sense as a Z captain.
Yeah, it's, like, perfect for that.
Wow. So Inteleon could go the ice one or water, pretty much, right? Like, those would be its 2 options. Unless it has a support move that I'm not aware of, which would be good.
Well, so with the crit thing in mind, Z Focus Energy raises his critical hit chance by 2, so he's just, like, guaranteed to start doing that with Sniper.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, not that it really needs that anyway, but it also gets Scale Shot, so he can basically treat it almost like a Scarf. So if your priority options are exhausted, it's just going to crit everything to death.
I do think Inteleon is kind of underrated, especially in draft. Just because of... Just that speed tier is so coveted, and it can pivot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty solid.
And especially with Sniper, it actually has a lot of really cool physical moves. So if you're critting every time, those Aqua Jets, it gets Ice Shard and Fell Stinger and stuff too. So he can easily run this a bunch of different offensive ways.
All right, talk me into the Mega T-Tar pick. What is that?
Dude, you had Mega T-Tar. You know that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good mon, but Okay, so it's not like you can run Sand... If you could run Sandvale and Chomp, that would be broken, first of all.
Yeah, that would be gnarly.
But you can't. So I guess...
Right.
I'm just thinking about, like, what does Sand do for his team? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Chip is always nice.
Yeah, I mean...
It's going to help Kartana and Garchomp pick up some kills. And I think Mega T-Tar just hits like a truck. And like he picked his Mega really late too. So
he did need a Dark type, to be fair. Looking at his team, he didn't have a Dark type. He's got a couple fighting switch-ins. I mean, Togetic with the Violite and then the 4-time fighting resist.
Mesprit, Volcarona can take fighting types decently well.
Dude, not to mention, this guy has Ditto. He picked it up in nearly the last round. Okay,
so that's what I was going to say about this team. So he's got a lot of these like immediate power sort of mons. I think this team almost invites setup from the other team because you're going to want to out-set up Garchomp and Volcarona, Inteleon, Kartana if he decides to run like a Swords Dance set. And Ditto just dissuades that. So he's got so many things that have immediate power. If he runs like Banded Beware, Kartana is insane anyway. And so he's just dissuading their setup in a big way that's going to let things like Scarftana run away with everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think his reminds me of yours in that it's pretty offensive. Pretty offensive. Yeah. I mean...
A bit heavy on the defensive side for sure.
Garchomp actually can be ran defensively. Wash obviously can. But I think other than those two, I mean, Togetic and Roselia are like a Violite mons. Well, so is Bronzor, but I don't... Oh, actually, that is... So I like Kartana a lot. I think it's one of the bigger offensive threats in the entire draft meta, but I do think when you have a steel type that's Kartana, you are lacking a lot defensively, just because the steel type does provide so much value,
right,
to any kind of defensive backbone. So I think that could be problematic.
I think so. They're
potentially
okay. So I wish he had gotten like a better Wisher, like you said, because of the pivot heavy defensive core. But one thing I think that's actually going to be really big for him is Healing Wish Mesprit, because if you stop Kartana sweep the first time, it can come right on back. I forget
that it gets that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's got a similar archetype to mine, where it looks really offensive. It's going to be position heavy and stuff like that. But I don't want to switch into this team at all.
No, but
I think yeah.
I mean, the main difference is he doesn't have as many pivots as you do. But I do think, like, because maybe they're not pivots, some of his offensive threats are a little scarier. Right. At least, I don't know, like, some of his mons snowball out of control so fast. Like,
yeah. Like,
Volcarona gets one Quiver Dance, and some teams just can't stand up to it. Same with, Kartana gets one knockout, and all of a sudden it's raising its speed or something, and you can't switch into it. Same with Garchomp, like,
exactly.
He just has a lot of... You just have to play so careful. And then on top of that, like you were saying...
You alright?
No.
Oh, God.
His team is disgusting, dude.
Yeah, his team's really scary. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say before I was having a coughing fit, is that all those setup threats, and then he can just steal your own setup. So, yeah.
And I played him last season, and he's the kind of guy who likes to go for the win like turn one, at least in my limited experience with him. I think this team suits that playstyle really well.
Yeah. I am going to put it in this tier. Same as you and Ryan. It, like, all three of you so far that heard this tier, I could, like, see winning it, to be honest, just based on your skills. But yeah, I think I don't know, actually. I'm looking at his team more. It's like right on the line for me. I might put it at the bottom right here for now.
Yeah, I could see it like high, good, low, win it all for sure.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that range. Real quick, I'm realizing probably not going to be using these bottom two tiers too much. Yeah. I'm just too nice of a grader, I think.
I mean, if we were being honest, you could put my team in joke because it was based around a sick joke between me and Easy.
That is true, actually. All right, next up is Doom Shroom.
One thing I gotta shout out before we really evaluate this team.
Yeah.
His last season, he had Dracovish and Dracozolt, and now he has Arctozolt and Arctovish under Hail.
This is why you're on with me, because I did not know that.
Yeah, it's bad.
These are the things I didn't know. We got both Aussies in a row, by the way.
I think I also have both Aussies in a row in the schedule.
Excellent. Good luck scheduling those matches.
And winning them. Look at these fucking teams.
Dude, yeah, so you mentioned the Hail Core. Being able to decide, let's say he wants to bring Hail, he can go Zolt or Vish, or both, if he really felt like it.
Look at his momentum, too.
Okay, hold on. Lele and Mandibuzz is pretty... Okay, hold on. Whoa.
Yeah,
this is
dude.
The more I look at this, is crazy. So he's got Parting Shot, Aurora Veil, with Lele to protect his mons from priority because Mega B and then those two Hail Abusers are going to be outspeeding pretty much everything.
Right.
That's scary.
He's got all these U-turners. He's got one of the best U-turners in Mega Beedrill.
Oh my god.
And then he's got these ridiculous... He also has 2 unburdened mons.
I was just realizing that as well. So, this guy basically took what you and Sid did and was like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm just going to push all my chips in for offense. But
yeah, there's nothing more fun than clicking buttons.
That's not even entirely true, though, because he's got 2 Intimidators and Mandibuzz.
Yeah.
I mean, other than those 3, he doesn't have a lot of defensive utility.
Right, but so you remember how what we said about my team and Sky's team was that they're going to be very like position battle dependent for success?
Yeah.
He can artificially craft good positions with Intimidate, Parting Shot, Aurora Veil. Because like
this is a team to me, not to cut you off.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's a team to me that looks more worried about its own game plan and can't really disrupt what you're doing as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get that. But I also think its game plan is really scary.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, what does it matter if he's just punching you in the mouth, you know?
Exactly.
Lele as a Z captain makes sense. I think Duraludon is an interesting choice, too, because it does get a lot of coverage options. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be bringing it all that much, to be completely honest. But I was hoping he would pick Landorus as his Z captain, just because that thing's nasty with max rockfall. But I get the idea behind Tapu Lele, especially because we've talked about how offensive and nuky this team is. Like, not having to worry about missing a focus blast on a Heatran, for example, with Lele is going to be a pain in the ass for opponents. I'm
just imagining being in prep and be like, well, is this Lele Specs, Scarf, or a fucking Z Crystal?
Exactly.
That is terrifying. Man, I think... So, I don't know. Sceptile in Psychic Terrain is probably alright. Mm-hmm. And this is random, but I actually don't like Sceptile in Grassy Terrain, just because you get the Unburden boost, you can Swords Dance, but your only ground move, which is really important coverage to have, is Earthquake. So running that in Grassy Terrain isn't great, but I think running it in pretty much any other terrain can be really threatening.
Yeah, I totally get that. And it's nice to not have to worry about Ice Shards.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Yeah, I mean, this is a super scary team. Super, super scary.
Yeah. I think he did the crazy offensive Nuki archetype better than Sky and I did.
Nah. I feel like all your teams are like so similar to me. Like, I guess I will put it here for now.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. I feel like, I mean, we still have plenty of teams to see, but so far, this is the team to me that out of anyone could be down and make a comeback that you just wouldn't expect.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
Snatch, what is the saying? Snatch victory from the
jaws of defeat.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I think if we were ranking the teams based on that, this one would be number one.
If we're looking at scary teams to play, I think that's number one, just because one misplay and you lose.
Oh yeah, you could. You just unless you have Ditto. So.
Oh, true.
But other than that, I mean, only one person gets it. All right, so you may have drafted the most horny team of all time, but Zex is the most horny person I've ever come across.
Yeah, the fact that Uzi and I were actively looking for things that were uncomfortable to search for and post them in the draft channel, and Zex's were all worse, is just a feat in and of itself. I don't want to talk about his Manectric pick.
I will say, though, the Slowbro picture and then the evolution of the Slowbro picture was one of my favorite things about the draft.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Season. Yeah, that was
well done, Zex, for giving other funny people an inroad.
Yeah, that was fantastic. But jokes aside, Zex drafted himself a really threatening team.
Yeah,
super
speaking of snowballing.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive core is Slowbro and Corviknight. I mean, they share an obvious weakness in electric, but they're super solid otherwise together.
And he got Zygarde, so who cares about electric types?
Right. It is unfortunate that Corv doesn't resist ice, but you do have Slowbro. Because you're not going to be switching Blacephalon into ice moves, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you can in a pinch, too. But it also has the benefit of just absolutely murdering them on the offensive side, so...
Yeah, he always does a really great job of drafting balance, I think. That tends to be his preferred style. He's not really like stally or defensive, but he does like to have a nice balance core going.
Yeah, for sure.
And how about his Z captain? So Zygarde makes sense, but then you get Archeops in the final round, and that's scary.
That's a terrifying Z captain. Z head smash without the recoil for defeatist. Ugh.
Which you can get it in for free pretty easily with Slowbro.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Corviknight U-turn or what have you. So, yeah, I would say this team is super solid. He's got a lot of mid-tier picks that I think bring a lot of value to his team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Comfy is a really underrated fairy. I think a lot of people do know that it's pretty solid, but... I feel
it's
like
a good value fairy rather than calling it underrated. Like, it's really good for its point value.
Absolutely, and I just think you won't see it on ladder very much, but in draft because of its versatility and versus some teams you just run Calm Mind and start sweeping as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's a cleric. It's pivot. It can defog. So. Checks a lot of the boxes that you want on your draft team, basically.
Yeah, this feels like a team that, when you look at it just like at the very first, it doesn't feel as threatening as some of the ones we've covered. But this is one of those teams where when you start prepping against it, you start getting really frustrated because you're going to have a lot of trouble finding 6 mons to match up super well against these 12.
Yeah, this is one of the first teams, at least in a while, at least for a couple teams, where I feel like every mon on his team could be brought most weeks. Like, even Gloom, which is probably his quote-unquote worst Pokemon, is pretty solid, honestly. You slap an Inviolite on it, and it's a budget Vileplume, which is super valuable to have a lot of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he didn't waste a single pick. It's really cool.
Does he have access to every hazard as well? Does he get... I don't think he has T-Spikes, but he's got Rocks, spikes, and webs. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is a solid team. Trying to think about any holes, but to be honest, I think he covered most of what you need.
Yeah, he can have a little bit of trouble with priority, maybe. But
like Ice Shard, Aqua Jet.
Yeah, Slowbro does a good job of switching into most priority that you're going to see. But yeah, I mean, that's just me trying to pick one.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, I think this is one of my favorite teams so far. Definitely would put it up there with, like, where's he at? Definitely somewhere in here. It's one of the top 3 for me to this point.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. Where would you put it?
I was going to put it high good. I feel like I'm more of a stickler than you are, though.
Here?
Yeah.
See, I think my thing is the hyper offense teams, so like your team, Doomshrooms, and then Sky's team. I think that they're very good, but I don't know. To me, I just get a little uncomfortable when there's not a lot of defensive options.
Oh, for sure. And you know me, I love me a good pivoting wall with reliable recovery, but yeah.
Yeah, let me go back. Now I have to compare all these. Let me see.
Yeah, this is the trick with the tier list. You got to keep them all in mind. It's not just
it's hard. No, I forgot how good Nico's team is. Nico Robin, or whatever he has his name as.
Yeah.
Isaac. Wait, where did
Lily's is. Oh, that's weird. I think you dragged it.
No, I don't have ability to do that.
Oh, weird.
Because this isn't Woods, dude. I'm not a dock owner. I think, dude, did fucking Uzi change this on us mid?
I know he is working on some power rankings with some friends as we speak, so maybe some things got swapped around.
Huh. Interesting. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent now, but
No, you're good.
Like I don't know. We're gonna deal with that later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Piplups. Okay. So first things first. Libero, Cinderace, Z Captain.
Yeah.
Woo!
Whoops.
Woo! That is. What do the kids say? Fucked up. That is fucked up, my friends.
Yeah, I think I was the one who originally floated the Z Captain's idea and then disappeared and didn't offer any tiering input. So I apologize for doing that and then flooding the draft channel with weird pictures.
Very
Sorry,
good.
everybody.
Very good, Zip. You've made Zex proud.
No.
So, Piplups here, Mr. Jungle Cat, he's won Kill Eater before in IBL with Mega Chomp, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. I think that was my first spectator season.
So, I think Cinderace, Libero, Z Captain could potentially be a contender for Kill Eater.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I mean, he's got a great team around it to make it happen, too. I mean, my God. He's got Suicune and Ferrothorn, or Ferrothorn, is a pretty awesome defensive duo.
Yeah.
That's hard to break on its own. Latias, you throw that in there as well. He's got two...
Flygar and Wigglytuff for wish passing.
Yeah, which Latias can do the same.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 Wishers. He's got Regieleki, which I promise I'm not just going to keep bringing up my Season 9 championship team. But it was my Kill Leader and that was on a team with like Kieran Black, Jirachi, and a bunch of other threats. So,
Right.
Regieleki really just needs the ground type on the other team to be taken out of the equation. And what I like about Aleki when you have it on your team is that you basically know 100% that they're bringing their ground type or electric immune, like if it's a lantern or something. You know it's coming. They have to. They absolutely have to, because if they don't, you just click like 6 electric moves and win.
Exactly.
And it's kind of silly, to be honest.
Right.
You're hard walled. You don't have coverage moves. You can also just run screens and like explosion and be utility, but
yeah, and in that vein, I do kind of wish he had better offensive answers to ground types. I mean, Z's Cinderace is gonna just nuke a lot of things, and Suicune can handle ground types. But, you know, like a fast ice type or something would have been nice there to kind of clear the way for Regieleki. I think it's he doesn't have the best offensive synergy with Regieleki. But
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he had like a Weavile or I mean, Suicune and Frogthorn are really nice to have. It's clear. I mean, he picked them before Lecky, so I think it got to like round 5, and he was just like, "Well, shit, Lecky's still sitting here. Let me just scoop it up real quick." Yeah. But you are right. I mean, ideally, you would have at least an offensive ice, water, or grass, something that's gonna threaten ground types a little harder.
Exactly, but he has things that are just so threatening in and of themselves too. I mean, we've talked about Z Cinderace a lot. Mega Heracross has like one of the highest attack stats in the game.
Oh,
that kind of thing.
I will
Parting
say,
to get his threats in.
I don't like Mega Heracross, obviously flying weak. I don't like that his fly resist is a Lecky.
That's the only one. Yeah,
yeah. Right. So, because Ferrothorn is great, but he didn't get a rock type, and a Lecky is not exactly defensive, so that is potentially problematic for him. But yeah, because I mean, I think he's got pretty much all the other boxes checked.
Yeah, I think I like every piece on his team. I don't love the way they fit together necessarily. I mean, I think there are a couple like cores of 2 and 3 that are really, really good together, but I don't think like, you know, we talked about the Alecki thing. I think Parting Shot is one of those things that kind of is glue when you don't, you know, like, it's always good. Parting Shot is literally always good, especially with Cinderace right there and Mega Heracross. But I don't know, I think it's a little bit less cohesive of a team as we've seen so far.
Yeah, one
compared to those.
What I like about Silvally too is like, I don't know about you, but whenever I'm up against Silvally, I basically just give up on trying to prep for it. Like, I know what it can do, but I'm just like clueless when it comes to, you know, what type and what set is it going to be, because there's just way too many possibilities to consider.
Yeah, I agree. And that also, it gets defogged, so I'm looking at his hazard stuff now.
Latias gets defogged, Lecky gets rapid spin,
Cinderace gets court change,
Gligar can defog.
Yeah.
Pretty good hazard control. Mega Heracross, because of all the switches it can force, can get spikes up. Same with Frogthorn.
Yeah, Wigglytuff is a rocker, is it not?
Yeah, same with Gligar. It's pretty good hazard control. I mean, honestly, I think he's gonna probably bring Suicune and Ferrothorn most weeks.
Yeah,
I would guess, along with Cinderace, and then other than that, it's just kind of matchup dependent. But yeah, pretty solid team.
Yeah, agreed.
Where would I put it? I'm probably gonna put it at the top of this tier. The good but unlikely to make a run. I think so. There's like 2 or 3 types where when you don't have good switch-ins or like resist to it, I think it's really a problem, and flying is one of them. It's like flying, ghost, and dark. To me, and maybe like ground or water to a lesser extent. But
right, and I don't know if there's any teams without ground types, but he's gonna like have a really good matchup against those. You know, electric is one of those things you need an immunity to. So,
and I mean, he's got Z, Libero, Cinderace. That alone is going to put in some work. He's got a lot of great mons, so it'll be fun to see what he can do.
Yeah, I think good is a fair tiering for that one.
Yeah.
Put it in jokes.
Okay.
Put this in jokes. Nah. Get a logo, you nerd.
All right, moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
God, he's a
No,
lawyer.
so
That's a logo.
he does have a logo. Okay, I asked for it. He didn't provide it, so now he can. Let's go back. He can get stuck with this, and I am gonna leave it here. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's probably better than that, but we're gonna leave it there because of the whole logo situation.
Yeah, someone needs to suffer in this. We've been too nice.
He deserves it for the whole logo thing.
And he's so goddamn old and mature. He can handle it.
So, I think he's drafted this Mega Charizard Y before. Oh, you think he's gonna run Chlorophyll Tank Growth?
Oh, he totally could.
That's his only Sun Abuser because I was looking at it. I hope he does that. Oh my god! Timeout.
He's got a lot of really good hazard controllers too.
How are you gonna break Gliscor, Skarmory, Tangrowth? That is disgusting.
Yeah, he is. Jokes aside, he is a really annoying team.
Oh my god, Wrecker! What is your fucking problem?
Yeah, he's got this nasty defensive core. He has automatic, terrifying offense with electric terrain and a lowland shoe. And then he's got Tapu Koko to get these ridiculous wall breakers like Zard Y and Regidrago.
Dude.
It's a really good team.
What the hell?
I think his bottom four are kind of weak. Absol can have some really good matchups every now and then, and Girder is a good value pick.
Yeah, I was going to say, Girder's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, but I think like Mawile, Glalie, Absol, you're not going to see too often. He's going to bring them against me now just because I said that. But
no, I think his first 7, like most weeks, he's probably going to bring those, and then he'll bring Regidrago if there's either not a fairy or not a good fairy, probably.
Honestly, with Skarmory and the absolute nukes he has too, honestly, and that kind of makes Mawile a better pick too. But like Regidrago, I played it twice last season because I played Lee once in the regular season and he beat me in playoffs. Regidrago is really, really hard to prep for. The Scarf set with Dragon Energy is just a pain in the ass. It 2-hit KOs so many things.
Yeah, it's like a Lecky in that regard. It's just not as fast. But
right. But it does get Dragon Dance too.
Pretty scary. Yeah. Basically, and his Z captains are both of the electric types. That's interesting.
Yeah, okay. Tapu Koko was so good in Z draft metas. I just used Tapu Koko in Woods, and I love Tapu Koko. I think it's still a top tier draft mon, but with Z moves, it is a huge threat.
Yeah, no kidding. I think he's gonna. I am leaving him in jokes, but I think I think he would actually be much higher. Like he would be this tier for sure.
I think this has an argument for the best team so far. I would say
it could win it all, but no, not doing it.
He's gonna play hard for a team that doesn't have a logo though. Like Coco is just gonna be phoning it in all season. He's gonna have behavioral issues all over that locker room.
Yeah, let's not talk about your locker room though. You were fucking sex.
Man, you ever just had a joke low and slowballed over the plate to you as hard as I just gave one to you, man? Jesus.
I can't wait to fit some joke in about your team like 4 more times for the rest of this video. Man, I
said my team wasn't bulky. It's all dumpies, dude.
This is where all the bulky mons are going. I've been wondering. Every team so far, it's felt like has been either. There's been a couple balanced teams, but it's been a lot of hyper offense. Just because Brecker picked them all. Like,
I think also a Z meta like this does kind of lend itself to higher offense. So I think there was a higher priority placed on that this time around.
That's probably fair because you send your wall in and then they just get blasted by a Z move.
Right, because like a lot of draft mons have like coverage super freed up. So I'm not saying walls are bad, but they might have a little bit less value this time around.
No, for sure. I agree with that. I think, I just think they don't have as much value when they're liable to just get blown back by an unexpected Z move.
Speaking of Z moves, you ever heard of Speed Boost Blaziken?
Oh, that's right. It's speed boost in this league. Holy cow.
With Z moves, yeah.
Hey, what does Z Final Gambit do? Asking for a friend.
Oh, it's a 180 base power.
So it's just an attack.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. I was hoping it had some kind of, like, leave you with 1 HP, but do your HP to the opponent type thing.
Right. Yeah, I looked it up because I was curious about it too when he picked Isildur. But...
Okay. I'm just going to say it. This is my favorite team for 2 reasons. 1, mascot pick.
Yeah, huge points.
Love it. Whenever you pick your mascot, I'm going to be a fan. Number 2, Jesus Christ, that Dragon Fairy Steel Core with Zapdos and a Speed Boost Blaziken and Unburdened Drifblim and Zarude.
Yeah.
I think this
and
is...
Excelgor gets Unburdened as well.
This is a terrifying team.
Yeah, he's got insane wall breakers. Even if he doesn't want to sweep with Blaziken, just Z it up and let like a Scarf cure him or something clean. I
love that Zapdos, Fini, and Jirachi can go either offensive or defensive. I just love that. I think when a Mon can be defensive or offensive, that's the best kind of versatility.
Yeah, and especially when it's really good at both, which all of these are.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a nightmare to pro for. That is insane. You can bring
games. Oh, go for it.
No, I was just going to say you can bring those first 5 every single week and not even blink. Like,
yeah, and like he has a path to victory just by scarfing Jirachi, clicking Iron Head to whittle things down, and then having a Choice Specs cure him to turn that molt into pulp, and then win with a 1 protect.
How about the synergy between Static and Iron Head Jirachi?
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Not to mention that Zapdos is immune to ground, which is one of Jirachi's worst things. Zapdos dissuades knockoff. Blaziken's going to take knockoffs pretty well because Z Crystals weaken that power. And then he got such a late Zarude, too.
Yeah, I love this team. I'm gonna say this is my favorite team so far. Good job, Max. Yeah, I'm putting this in. That's going up there for sure.
Oh damn! Breaking the rules. I like it. That's how much you like that team.
I do. Yeah. I mean, it's. I would say that there's a couple teams that are close, but. Oh, I keep forgetting Lily got moved. Damn it, Uzi.
Right.
Or whoever did it. I think I'm kind of. I would say. Yeah, leave that there. Probably put Isaac there. That's kind of what I'm working with right now.
Yeah, I'm into it. Something
like that. But and I look at it too.
It's so bad having Brex there.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel bad at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, call me Zip Chump, why don't you?
Okay. Speaking of chumps, we're at the biggest chump of them all, Woodsy Noctowl. This
isn't even his own league.
This fucking guy. Okay, I take it back. He posted a video of him chugging water, and he's a king for that. And
that's true. Just in the name of getting a kid to save his own life. Good guy, Woodsy.
Oh, and he did draft my favorite Mega. So, if we go off my past, then you would know that in Woods for it's a meme. It's a running meme, but 3 seasons straight, the number 1 and 2 teams either had Caesar or Mega Caesar.
Right. Right.
So he's already off to a great start. But this does not just look like a Woodsy team when you look at it.
Yeah, he has a big thing with not repeating Mons as much as possible, and he's got a lot of really cool value because of that. Hi, Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
You're on YouTube now. Well, they can't hear you, but your name is. Thanks. Anyway,
enough about Zips GF. I think she was actually recording a podcast too, but
She was. Check it out. It's not easy.
why isn't it easy to check out our podcast? Anyway,
if only I hadn't made that joke 100 times to her.
We really are the same person sometimes.
It's true.
Okay, so but Woodsy's team, Christ, dude, Chestnut, hell yeah. Do you remember? Okay, I know that's random, but you remember the season I had it in Woods?
Oh yeah, I remember the substitute Salakberry belly drum set.
Man, I hope Woodsy doesn't just use it as like a Leech Seed defensive mon. I mean, I ran it like that sometimes too, but I ran it Scarf. I ran that Salakberry belly drum set. I ran it Choice Banded. Chestnut's a damn threat. If like, let's keep it a stack. It'll fuck you up if you don't treat it.
Oh yeah, Chestnut's an awesome value pick. It's also a really good Edgequake resist, which I know Ryan loves. So
the shot. That's like a 4-season-old shot. Holy shit!
No, he brought it up again. I'm just memeing on him.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I think he just picked. It's like he didn't pick a bunch of top tier like. Other than Mega Caesar, I think everything is like what 13 points and below. But because of that, he has a bunch of great value picks that are all super usable.
Yeah.
Like I would say, other than Delibird and Regigigas, I think he has 10 very solid mons that could come any week.
Yeah, and his Z captains are really threatening too, because Crocodile and Magmortar both have ways to boost speed, and then you don't have to worry about missing a Focus Blast, mixing a Stone Edge, that kind of thing. Magmortar can very easily run like a belly drum set with that Z Crystal too, which I think he DM'd me about, so sorry if you were trying to get that a secret.
Well, and like, the thing about Magmortar is it's not super fast, but it's a great breaker, and he's got Slowking, which, you know, you would like to switch your grass type into Slowking, but then you just teleport out into Magmortar and it gets to fire off something for free.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that pivot core with Mega Scizor and Slowking is insane too, because even if you switch into a Dark type, for example, Mega Scizor is going to switch in and he gets another free U-turn, and they check each other's weaknesses really well, because Mega Scizor doesn't really care about knockoffs for the most part.
100%. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Their defensive synergy and just being able to get a bunch of things in for free is going to be super valuable.
Yeah, and Mismagius is a really good budget ghost type too. It's like 105 speed or something, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, nasty plot sets, gets pretty good coverage with Mystical Fire and Power Gem, that kind of stuff.
He's got good sweet tiers, to be honest. Crobat's at 130, Raiku's like 115.
Right.
Crook is 92, I think.
That sounds right.
And then, yeah, I mean, he's got speed tiers that pretty much cover anything.
He's got a little bit of a gap there between Raikou and Crocodile, I think, but...
Yeah, well, Mismagius, though.
Oh, right. How fast is Magmortar?
It's like 80. It's 83, I think. I shouldn't know that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
No, but you always do this. Dude, how the fuck did you know that?
I'm a fucking nerd. That's the only explanation.
It is. It's 83.
Yeah, I just know speed tiers for some reason. I'm pretty good at memory. I just have like a good brain for numbers. But for everything else, I'm kind of stupid, so it makes up for it.
Your word. Your word.
One last thing about his team. So, Raikou, I mean, you would think you could block Volt Switch, but it gets Skull, so...
Yep, Aura Sphere is really nice. Shadow Ball. He's run Curse Extreme Speed, Legendary Beasts before. We don't need to talk about it too much.
Oh, the Curse Entei?
Yeah, prick. I sent him that video and he used it against me. I will forever
hold it against him.
Meteor.
Man, ranking these teams are so hard, man.
Yeah.
because there's like so many teams that I have like so close in my brain. Like basically, Lily through Woodsy are all around the same to me. I don't know. I don't know how to. Don't know how to do it. But it's like even these teams are good too. It's hard, man.
It is hard. Like I don't know. I never put too much stock in. Like it's more fun to talk about them. Look at the strengths of the teams. If we get a little bit of a placement wrong, people will bitch, and I don't care.
I care. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping if I hear one negative comment.
Dude, I drafted a fucking deviant art team. They can say whatever they want to me. I'm immune.
Well, speaking of deviant art, this man right here sniped one of your picks. The Vespiquen, but
it's okay. I offered my assist because Uzi was handling the weight of my drafting for me. Lee and I DM'd a lot about his team, and just watching it formulate before he even made the picks. This team is nuts, dude. And Vespiquen is probably the best 1-point mon for in my opinion.
So when you look at it, I mean, it really looks like he picked 7 mons and 5 that are never gonna come. Basically.
Dude, Vespiquen's coming. Throw has some really annoying sets.
I think Throw and Vespiquen maybe, and to some lesser degree Carnivine maybe, but
he's bringing Poipole because it's a Z captain too. I'm sure he's got some fun plans with that.
Oh, Poipole and Greninja. It's not protein, right? It's just
no, it's not.
Just Torrent. Okay, so that's good because if it was protein, this team would be broken.
It already kind of is, man. Look at that fantasy core.
Yeah,
and he's got Diggersby and Galarian Darmanitan, which are huge physical attacking threats that both get U-turn.
Greninja and Diggersby also can lay spikes.
Yeah.
So, that's super scary. He's got Garmanitan. He could go Life Orb, Magic Guard, Clefable. Aegislash can set up and be a threat or be like a spec set.
You were talking about how you love Pokemon that you don't know if they're going to be offensive or defensive. And Aegislash and Clefable are probably the 2 best in that regard because he can run that sub-toxic Aegislash. He can run a Swords Dance. He can run Specs. It gets close combat now. Clefable is one of the best defensive sweepers in the game. And Megalodios, dude. That's like one of those. Megalodios is one of those Pokemon that gives you the option to win every game, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's banned in Woods, and so it's one of like 5 mons or so that are allowed in IBL that's not in Woods.
Right.
And for good reason. I mean, it's super strong, and, it gets 1 Dragon Dance or something, and suddenly it's impossible to stop.
Yeah, we were talking about how Tapu Koko was like arguably the best mon in Z metas, and Megalodios was always giving it a run for first pick. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, this team is terrifying. I would definitely put it in the elite contender tier, I think.
Also, shout out to the fact that Galarian Darmanitan does have a few checks-ish when you're not accounting for like U-turn shenanigans. And he took one of those off of opponents' plates by getting Rotom Heat, because Rotom Heat's a decent check to Galarian Darmanitan. So that was really nice. That's
a great point, because it basically just wants to spam Ice and Earthquake and like Flare Blitz.
I mean, I think it does get Rock Slide, but a Scarf Rotom Heat is a decent way to check it.
You really don't want to click Rock Slide as Garm. It just feels bad.
Yeah, especially with Guerrilla Tactics. But he's also one of those dudes who's gonna whip out that Zen mode.
Oh yeah, Lee will run some fun sets for sure.
He is one of my favorite people to play because he's so fucking creative and good. And this team I think this team plays to his strengths. Like, we talked about how like Sky has a really offensive team for a guy who can like go for the win turn 1. I think Lee's team build fits Lee the best out of all the mons so far. Especially because he's such a top-heavy drafter.
He really is. Every season of IBL I've seen, he blows his points, and then he's like, oh shit, I have 5 picks left and 8 points left.
That's why it was so fun working with him on this team, too, because I have that philosophy as well, usually in Woods specifically, but like Just throwing out a suggestion for a Galarian, or like he pointed out, he's like, yo, Galarian Darmanitan's still there this late. And he went Diggersby first because we agreed it fit better. But, like, I respect the hell out of someone who just doesn't give a fuck about the points. I love that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised you helped him put this together because I thought you were a Rotom Heat hater.
But I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's fair.
It's not Lee's fault. Rotom missed 8 out of 10 Will-O-Wisps in one season for me.
One last note about his team. He has really great priority actually with Aegislash, Greninja, and Diggersby.
Yeah.
So that's just another thing to consider.
He's got insane momentum too. Just insane.
I'm gonna put that in the elite contender tier for now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if I'm being honest, I think Isaac's team is probably up there.
Yeah, I think we're deep enough to start making that distinction.
Yeah, I mean, he could be jumped. I would say he's my third favorite right now. I don't know if I like Lee's or...
I'm going to recuse myself from that discussion just because Lee and I talked a lot during the draft. But I, like, you know, if I were saying I had no bias, I would say Lee's is my favorite so far.
It's tough. I'm just going to leave it there for now. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Didn't do anything.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. Uzi, you saw nothing. All right. So we've got Hihoshi, coach of the Dallas Tornadus. And did he... So I wasn't paying attention. In the past, he's done drafts where people make picks for him, and he's had a lot of fun ideas. Did he do anything special this time, or did he draft it himself?
I actually don't know. I think he drafted this himself, but I know he loves Megalodios.
Well, the fact that he got that in the second round is pretty shocking. I mean,
yeah, mad respect for the Reuniclus first pick, too.
Oh, and speaking of mascot picks, he got Tornadus.
Oh, very cool.
Towards the end of the draft. So I'm interested to know. So Reuniclus and then Megalodios. I mean, immediately afterward, 2 psychic types. Looking at his team, I mean, I know Megalodios isn't going to lose its item, but it is still weak to knockoff. He doesn't.
Yeah, it tanks it pretty well. It does tank it pretty well because it's only base 65.
And it's super bulky. He's got Sylveon. I just feel like looking at his team, it does seem kind of dark weak. Because your dark type is part ghost as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that immediately sticks out to me, just being kind of weak to dark types.
It's weaker to ghost even.
Yeah.
Because Sylveon is a good answer to dark types, but he doesn't have... I don't think he has a ghost switch in.
He doesn't have a normal type, and yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't think he has a single ghost resist, so...
And we haven't gotten there yet, but there is a Z Dragapult in this draft, so...
Oh, Lord. Oh.
Yeah, it got banned from regular Nat decks, so...
So... Jesus.
Yeah, see, it's fun that you weren't, like, super active during the draft, because... Dude, there were like these couple moments of realization where Uzi was like, "Oh fuck."
Oh wait, that's fucking problematic.
He's like, "That should have been 20 points." You're right, because he did institute a rule where you could only have one mon 19 points or higher. So.
That's not been a thing before, has it?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so. Well, so speaking of Z captains, Hihoshi went with Sableye and Tornadus. Tornadus is good for reasons why we discussed on Torn T. I mean, it's not Torn T,
good, but it also gets Prankster, which is a nice boon.
Yeah, maybe you could do things like Z Tailwind, or I don't even know what that does.
Oh, I know what it does because I drafted Honchkrow in my second Wood season because of that. It raises your critical hit chance, so you get +2 speed with boosted crits.
Yeah, something like that could be interesting.
So we've talked about the ghost weakness. One thing I'm a little bit worried about is this team is so reliant on Sylveon wish passing because a lot of his defensive mons don't get reliable recovery. Like I know Reuniclus, Latios, and Sableye are bulky enough, and Prankster recover makes Sableye artificially bulky.
Well,
but I'm looking at like Mudsdale and Goodra, and they really, really need wish passing.
Yeah, I mean, Cray-Dilly can heal, at least. But you're right. I don't know. I just looking at it, I do feel like this might be my least favorite team so far.
I mean, but Hihoshi also has a completely different battling style to me. Like, I agree. Like, I don't think this is the strongest team on paper, but Hihoshi makes things work that I don't. So. Yeah,
I mean, he has a lot of good mons, and he can definitely make it work. I think the no ghost resist thing is really, really tough for me to swallow. Just because it's like because Piplups, for example, only had one fly resist, but at least he had one, you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean there for sure.
And it's like
oh, sorry, no, never mind. I was wrong anyway. Go for it.
You're good. I just think Ghost is one of the more spammable types in drafts, so that's one reason why when I did the Ghost normal like dual monotype team, that's like half the reason why I had any success at all is just because Ghost is so strong offensively that I take out the 1 or 2 resists that they have or weaken them, and then all of a sudden I'm just spamming Ghost moves on like half my team because there's no switch-ins to it.
I wouldn't normally mind because like draft has some things like that. I wouldn't normally mind the lack of Ghost resist if his top 2 picks weren't Ghost weak.
Right. I think that's the other thing is like his best Pokemon is Megalodios for sure, and it is Ghost weak. That being said, though, like he can make it work. He's got a lot of good mons. He's got pretty decent pivoting. How many pivots does he have? Or actually, Sylveon just gets Baton Pass.
Yeah, Reuniclus gets Teleport. Latios gets Baton Pass. But Latios is also cool because he gets things like Healing Wish and Wish, Heal Bell.
Right. It gets... I guess it could also Wish instead of Sylveon doing it.
That's true.
If it wanted.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will say, too, Sableye, Prankster Sableye is pretty annoying, actually, to deal with. It's hit or miss for me. But Prankster Recovery, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, those types of things are super valuable to have.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this team does have some holes. Like, I'm looking at that, we talked about a Lele team. Lele kind of goes dummy on this.
Yeah, I'm going to unfortunately put it in too many holes.
Better than Breck.
Better than Breck, for sure. If I'm... Yeah, I think that's probably where I would put it. Yeah.
Like we said, like this is just about the draft. Hihoshi plays a lot differently than I do. Hihoshi makes things work that I would never even think of.
Yeah, I think... I don't remember what season it was. It might have been like 8 or 9, but he ran it all the way to the semis or something after going like 500 in the regular season, just running a bunch of like crazy sets. So
yeah,
he can do it for sure.
IBL, I don't think IBL has a Heat Miser like Woods does, but like I could see Hihoshi winning a Heat Miser for sure.
Oh yeah, he's one of the more creative battlers out there.
Yeah.
This is so we're on to Kai's team, the Melee. Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Melemele Mimikyus.
Yeah, the Mimikyus.
This is the third team with the mascot pick, so bonus points there.
Oh, there's also a really good narrative there because Kai dropped Mimikyu midway through last season, so this is a triumphant return, and not only is it back, it's a captain.
That is pretty spectacular. So Mimikyu does get it has its own special Z move.
Yeah, let's snuggle forever.
Yeah, Mimikyu Z or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Kai isn't going to want to bring it on Claydol very often.
You say that, but Z Teleport heals you completely.
I imagine Kai is going to bring Z Claydol very often. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah,
well, especially for a mon that doesn't...
It's cool, so...
Claydol doesn't get any healing, so that's actually super cool.
Yeah, it makes Claydol way more valuable. And Kai has 3 of the just generally most threatening draft mons. Urshifu, Celesteela, and Mega Charizard X. He's gonna Mega Charizard, he's just gonna punch holes in everything. Like, you got Urshifu single strike pivoting into Mega Charizard X. That's crazy.
Jeez. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is I replaced Kai last season. So it must have been the season before they dropped Mimikyu.
Yeah, they were in grad school.
Yeah. That checks out. So dude, okay, and this says Lycanroc Dusk. Is that the right Lycanroc?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Let me check something. Either way, I learned how good Lycanroc is in draft in Woods last season.
So they do have Dusk. All right, cool.
It's just the wrong sprite, isn't it? Yeah. Because Lycanroc Dusk is the one with Tough Claws, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Uzi, fix your shit, dude. Get it together. This is the wrong Lycanroc. Come on, bro. No. So, I used Lycanroc, just the regular one, in Woods last season. I picked it up like week 3 or 4 in free agency.
Insane.
And it ended up tying for my kill leader with Melemele.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So Kai is getting an even better version because Lycanroc Dusk gets Tough Claws.
Yeah, they picked up just ridiculous offensive threats. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is 2 points slower, so it's 110. But like, oh no.
Yeah, that's fine. It's so worth it.
Yeah, that is completely fine. You're still fast.
It's so much stronger with Tough Claws too, because I think every move it wants to run, other than like Stone Edge, gets Tough Claws.
One thing I do dislike, so Urshifu, Mimikyu, Charizard, and Typhlosion, they are all 96 to 100 base speed. So very clumped together. Then Lycanroc is like 110, Jolteon is 130. I would say that's the biggest weakness that's sticking out to me as speed tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's the hazard situation like? Is it just Claydol?
Rapid Spin, Defog, Mantine.
Oh, and Lycanroc gets rocks as well. Regice, does Regice get rocks? I feel like all the Regis get rocks.
I don't think Regice does.
Regice is also super underrated. A rock polish set because it has pretty insane special attack.
It's got a gargantuan special defense too, isn't it? Like 200.
Yeah, it's
something insane.
It is 200.
I think Mantine and Amoonguss has a pretty good defensive core with Celesteela slapped on top of that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hazard Control is a little weak. I mean, Mantine and Claydol are both solid, so that's fine. But you'd like to have a couple more options so that they're not stuck in that role, I guess.
Yeah, if we're doing that thing where we looked at one bit of insane synergy, Kai is going to be able to just send in Amoonguss. They can click Spore, and then good luck dealing with Urshifu and Charizard with one of your checks asleep.
Oh, and don't forget Mimikyu gets Disguise. So.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a crazy setup threat, too, because it's a free substitute.
Yeah, great call.
Well, close to a substitute. You can't status it, but...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team is good. The speed tiers kind of are disappointing, but I think the speed tiers thing is a little overrated. Like, it's important, yes, but there's lots of things you can do to work around that. You can scarf things. You can, I don't know, run agility or...
Yeah, Charizard X is also a really good Dragon Dancer, and then Kai has a lot of good priority. I mean, not like, three really great priority users.
How does Kai deal with fairy types? Because Urshifu can win a lot of games.
There's a Celesteela right there, homie.
Celesteela, Amoonguss is a good defensive poison, Yeah, I guess that can work.
Yep. And Urshifu gets so much coverage it just doesn't deserve, like Poison Jab and Iron Head. So
I think... I'm trying to think where I would place this team. Look at Piplups and Woodsy again.
I think it's in the good tier.
Yeah, I think so. Why the world? No, first of all, no. That team is way too good.
You have such a hard-on for Regieleki, my guy.
Dude, look at this team.
I'm messing with you. I agree.
Okay.
Cinderace alone puts it up. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong about Regieleki, though. That one is pretty good. I think I'm going to put... probably something like this, to be honest.
I think the Convictinis are better than the Mimikyus and the Piplups.
Being slept on a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is really good.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having Piplups and Mimikyus in good.
I probably should try and spread it out more. Because if that,
Put them right below Convictinis.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think I like this team more than the Convictinis, and I like. No, I think it's probably like this for me.
All right, I'm cool with that.
And
we'll sort out the ordering.
I need to look at your team as well. Probably put your team here. It's probably be something like this.
I'm down for that.
I don't know.
I'm going to recuse myself from all actual ranking discussions on my team.
Yeah.
It's got some noticeable holes. It's, if I lead right, I can win some games, but it's got some holes.
I just feel like, I don't know, within the same tier, it's pretty negligible. Like, if I was actually, I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Like we said, it's not an exact science. Feel free to bitch if you want in the comments, but I'm immune.
So we're on to Jared's team. We have 4 teams left. How far are we on this, by the way?
I feel like we've been on a good tear on the last couple.
We're like an hour and a half in or something. Also, I don't know if you can hear the music, but this is some... I don't know what the fuck this is.
Just put on the game shop if you're worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. Frankly, I don't give a shit. I just don't know what I'm listening to. To be honest, it's like chanting or something. I don't know. Okay, so Jer has a new logo. He is now the Winnipeg Mud Bombers, and I really like the Wishcash logo.
Yeah, it's a really cool logo.
The sprites aren't loading for some reason, but what a scary team on paper.
Yeah, those first 2 picks, dude. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, straight up 2 of the best, without any boost, the just strongest offensive threats that there are. I think Mega Alakazam is what is Alakazam Mega, like the second highest special attack stat?
Something like that, yeah.
That you can draft?
And I'm pretty sure you're allowed to run Nasty Plot in this league.
You are, yes. So, have fun dealing with Nasty Plot Mega Zam.
Yeah. And Kieran Black is a Z user.
Yeah, oh my god. So what is it, Free Shock? You just run the Ice Z move? Oof.
Because it is no Dragon Dance, right? Is the rule? Because you had it.
That's correct, yeah.
But Scale Shot.
I think
Free Shock.
I think Dragon Dance on that thing would be absurd. So I think that's a good show.
Oh, totally. No, that's a good ban.
I think without Dragon Dance, it's actually like it's strong, but it's not. You can definitely deal with it. But if it had Dragon Dance, it would be quite hard to deal with.
Most teams are going to lose a Mon to a Z, Freeze Shock, Earth Power. It still gets, what is it, Fusion Bolt?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So yeah, I mean, you don't need Dragon Dance. That thing's plenty scary.
Yeah, it can do plenty of fun things without that. And I didn't even get to use Z moves on it, so I can't imagine. Like, it was already incredible. He's gonna have a fun.
Right.
He's gonna have a fun time with it.
And he got some other really good utility mons. Like Togekiss is another one of those mons that's just like a built-in win con. Magnezone's really good. Tentacruel's an awesome spinner. I love Kecleon. Kecleon is so good in draft.
I do like the Magnezone pick to potentially remove steel types for Kyurem. And also for Megazam, because it,
And Togekiss.
Yeah, you would prefer not to click Focus Blast on Zam if you could avoid it, just because, shaky accuracy and all that.
Right.
So if you can just spam your Stab, or maybe even Shadow Ball, or whatever, like, that's great.
Yeah, for sure. I also really like the Amistar Z captain choice. You get a Shell Smash up, nuke something. I like that a lot.
That's a great low tier Z captain, definitely. Yeah, because
really smart pick.
You Shell Smash, a Z move of choice is gonna obliterate most things. Because you could even do an Ice Z Crystal and Omastar with Ice Beam or something.
Mm-hmm. Rock is a really great offensive type too.
Yeah,
So add Z move there at +2.
I wonder, so he's got Omastar and Tentacruel, which can take advantage of rain. I wonder if he'll tech, like, Rain Dance on something, for...
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Rain Dish, Black Sludge, Tentacruel would just be a menace. Swift Swim Omastar could be scary.
I honestly think the only real weakness in this team is his fire type being Simisear, which isn't necessarily a problem at all, because all of his other picks have a lot of value.
I do wish... So I know he has Magnezone, but I do wish he had a fighting type for steel types as well. With the lack of a... So you bring up Simisear made me think of it. He is kind of relying on Magnezone a lot for steals.
Yeah, Obstagoon does get close combat, which helps, but it's not stab.
And Kyurem does get Earth Power. Alakazam does get Focus Blast. Togekiss can Flamethrower. I mean, he has coverage options, but...
Palossand too. Stab ground, and Kecleon is going to have stab drain punches and stuff.
See, but even then, like, I don't know, Palossand isn't that scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, from it, like, being an offensive threat, so... I don't know. I think he might struggle with some, like, a team that has really good defensive steel type, potentially.
And he can get out offensed. Like, as good as his first two offensive picks are, like, there are going to be some mons that can punch some pretty significant holes in this team, I think.
Well, speaking of speed tiers, Mega Alakazam is great. It's 150. That's going to outspeed any non-Scarf or unboosted mons for the most part.
Right.
But Obstagoon and Kyurem are like 95.
Mm-hmm.
Vanillix is 79. Togekiss is 80. Zone is, I want to say 70 or 60. Tentacruel's 100. So I think his speed tiers are kind of poor as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Simisear is 101.
Yeah, so he's just got a lot of mons that are bunched up together. How's his hazard control? He's got Rapid Spin.
Gets a lot. I think Omastar gets every hazard.
Oh, Omastar and Tentacruel can spin. Omastar can spin, right? Or am I tripping? I don't think it can.
I don't think it can, but Togekiss is a really great defogger.
Yeah, it is. I'm just thinking, because especially with Kyurem running Z probably most weeks, that means no heavy-duty boots. So,
right.
And what they
I think we are going to see Z Omastar a lot, actually. Like, maybe not like a lot, but like 40-45% of the games, that's a pretty good chunk.
Yeah, 2 out of 5. That'd be. I mean, it's just going to be so hard to pass up on Z Kyurem Black. Like,
yeah, that's a kill.
Z Freeze Shock. Yeah, if you don't have like Wall Rain or something, like, goodbye.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. Because you're right, it still gets Earth Power.
I think. Yeah, it does. Yeah, so it can beat steel types, but
I think this one isn't good. I don't know that
you'd
it's
put
better
it here.
I don't think it's better than Piplups or Convictinis. I think we had a lot more holes to pick in this one than those two.
You're probably right. I just think... Yeah, you're right. It's just... Man, even if he is going to be in this tier, I think that... I don't know. He could like beat anybody any given week just because he has such big threats.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, like, if you look at the way we discussed Piplups and Convictinis, it might also just be because it was early on. I
and also
think we were more positive overall.
Yeah, and like we are grading more on like a consistent scale. So like I think this is one of those teams that might have a high ceiling, but it also has a lower floor too.
Yeah, like you said, he can beat any team. I also think there's more teams that can beat him than those two.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so I've been taking shots at him periodically throughout the video. But
nothing sincere.
But it's going to be hard to take shots at his team. Because,
yeah, that's a really cool team.
Because my God, so it makes sense that he didn't pick Z Como.
Yeah, without the Omni Boost.
Without the Omni Boost, but I do think even without it, it would have been a good choice. But I mean, Heatran makes sense. Tyrantrum makes sense.
Well, he and I were talking about that too, because like we were DMing so much because we were just trawling the deepest, darkest reaches of the internet for my team. So I kind of like by extension ended up talking to Uzi a lot about the idea behind this team. And Heatran is just an awesome Z user. Like you turn Magma Storm into a Z move, that's awesome. It can run Rock really easily too, Z Earth Power. Heatran is one of those mons that like on paper it should always do really, really well offensively, but it has like high miss chances and stuff like that, and Z moves just erase that. But Tyrantrum with Z, I think we're actually going to see that more often than Heatran, just because Heatran has other really cool sets.
Yeah, I mean, would Heatran ever run anything that's not Z Fire though?
Yeah, it runs Corkscrew Crash in that decks pretty often actually.
Which is the steel one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this team it looks like every mon is useful in some way. Like,
yeah,
maybe not Darumaka, no offense to Uzi.
Oh, dude, you're gonna catch some heat from that one.
Well, here's the thing: I'm not playing this season, so I don't have to face it. So I can talk all the shit I want.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that's the Daru god, man.
I have been dunked on by Darumaka before, but it was by the hands of Ryan.
I feel like Ryan always just brings heat against you because of that.
It's unfortunate, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Galar Slowking is a fantastic pick actually for a grassy terrain team.
All of this. Look at Heatran on grassy terrain too.
Yeah, but I mean Heatran's a given. I think that combo is pretty well known from the Bulu Heatran core back in Gen 7.
That's fair.
But you throw Galar Slowking onto it. I mean, ground is one of its only weaknesses, and you help that out. You give it so it gets Regenerator and grassy terrain potentially, which is really nice. You get Wish support from Florges. Quagsire is your unaware wall. I mean, I don't think he's intentionally trying to be defensive. I just think he has a team that could be hard to break, and at the same time, it's definitely lacking. I don't even want to say lacking, but like you look at it and it doesn't look as scary offensively as most of the teams we've covered. But it absolutely is, because I mean, Sticky Webs, Rillaboom, Grassy Glide is a problem. Z Heatran, Como.
Sticky Webs is going to be awesome for Mega Pidgeot too.
And Tyrantrum.
Mm-hmm.
You can you could ban Tyrantrum and just start throwing out head smashes with Sticky Web out.
And actually, I forget what he was considering, but he was considering something over Tyrantrum that like was on paper a better fit. And then he and I were just like, dude, what about just banded head smashes with Galvantula? And he was like, okay, that's way more fun. But then you factor in the fact that, like, we talked about how Vando almost got overall kill leader with Tyrantrum and Woods, and Uzi has one that has an undodgeable no recoil head smash with Dragon Dance.
Yikes. That is a big yikes. Yeah. I think that is... I mean, I'm trying to think. That's probably his scariest offensive mon. Was his last pick. No,
yeah,
not
honestly,
even kidding.
It's funny to even say that with Mega Pidgeot and Como right there too. But yeah, Tyrantrum is gonna get. Tyrantrum could be a dark horse kill leader in a Z meta like this. One Dragon Dance, and he doesn't have to worry about a miss to lose the game.
Does it get ground coverage that's not Earthquake?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because that would be unfortunate if it doesn't get like high horsepower or something.
Here's the thing, though, it does get close combat.
Okay, so it has an answer for steel types then. Okay, that's
and it can run Strong Jaw with Fire Fang, Thunder Fang. So,
one thing I wish his team did have, and his team it's hard to nitpick his team to be honest, but he doesn't have a spin blocker for webs or like a Defiant user. He doesn't have a way to dissuade getting rid of webs.
Right.
So that is kind of unfortunate. Not the end of the world, but...
Right. And one nice thing, too, is Tyrantrum tends to beat most defoggers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this team is solid. Lickitung, too, for like... to be honest, though, I don't understand the Lickitung pick fully when you have a Florges, because I feel like Lickitung is pretty much just a wish passer. So, and I say this knowing full well Uzi never does what you think he's gonna do.
I was gonna say that we're talking about a three-peat Heat Miser in Woods right here.
He's also he just won the championship in IBL, and the season before he made it there. So clearly he's a very skilled battler.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to put it in this tier somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really good team.
Yeah. I'm basically just going to decide that these are untiered or unordered within the tiers, but for now at least. But I would say it's probably not an elite contender for me, but it's super solid.
No, I agree with that. I think it's a really, really good team. Yeah. I don't think it's like on paper a champ. Oh, this is not updated because Duffy made some changes. I'll pull them up right here, but they're not active till week 2.
I did see that. So Duffy did a he did a randomizer basically for all his picks.
Yeah, he literally just put the tier list into random.org and let the gods decide.
I get there.
Here, let me read the
jokes.
Let me read the changes just for the sake of Skiploom is turning into Victini.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Yeah, Combuskin is turning into Dracovish. He has a Tyranitar. Dunsparce is turning into Mega Pinsir, which is on paper a good move. Spiritually, the worst move anyone made in the draft because Dunsparce is the new emote for Uzi's championship team. UDuff.
It is a excellent emote, like a top tier. It is fantastic.
Servine is turning into Excadrill, so there's another Sand Abuser for Tyranitar. And Grumpig is turning into Slurpuff, and he switched his Z captain from Decidueye to Victini. Z Victini. You know how we just talked about Final Gambit? Yeah, it has a 180 base power fighting type move now.
Okay, so that's kind of hard to keep up with. Is it updated?
I just wanted to get him out there.
No, that's good. I'm hoping, is it on the rosters page?
He was the last pick, I believe. No, it's probably going to stay that way until after week 1, so his opponent can see it.
Oh, fair. Okay, so that makes it hard to grade. I think, obviously the Sand Core with Titar, Dracovish, and Excadrill, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Empoleon with them actually is kind of sick, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is actually really cool.
I don't know, like, it makes him kind of ground weak though with having Victini too.
Oh, that's a really good point.
He is super ground weak. He's got Decidueye though. I don't know.
Mega Pincer helps with that too.
I don't feel too bad. I don't like his team very much. He randomized it, so it's not like...
Oh, nobody hated his team more than he did. We all loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to... Even with the changes, I'm probably just going to leave it in jokes. Maybe move it up here. But...
Yeah, I think the changes he made were really savvy. It's it kind of fits that whole offensive theme we've been going for.
He made the best of it. And don't get me wrong, he can absolutely still win games.
I also think Meowstic is kind of... Oh, actually, I think he got the... I don't remember if he got female or male Meowstic, which is a different thing, because male Meowstic is the prankster.
Oh, he probably got the prankster one. That's the one that's worth using. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, okay, Mega Pinsir, I did just use it in Woods, and it is... If you haven't tried it, you should try it at some point. Having basically priority quick attack with the aerial late and its stab flying is...
Stab flying, air late boosted.
Is there any other priority flying moves other than, like, Gale Wings? I don't think so.
No.
We were talking about with Piplup's team, like how important fly resist are. Mega Pinsir will... I don't know if he plays Piplups, but that, like, for example, what would Piplups do? Mega Pinsir... So, Mega Pinsir clicks Swords Dance. What do you do?
And he has...
I guess Gligar.
Too.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Gligar's not a flying resist, though.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And I know everybody tries to knock Mega Pinsir for losing return, but Double Edge hurts so bad. And I like Body Slam a lot in draft because paralysis is so good. And sure, you lose the immediate power of return. Body Slam is much weaker, but catching a para on a switch, which Mega Pinsir is going to force a lot, is awesome. It gets Earthquake, it gets Smackdown, it gets Stone Edge, it gets Close Combat. Mega Pinsir is awesome.
Well, and I don't even think it's much weaker, in my opinion. It's like, goes from 102 to 85, which, yeah, it's weaker, but it's not too bad. Like,
and you get the 30% paralysis chance on a flying stab move with Aerolate.
Yeah, I mean, you also get Earthquake and Close Combat. You get Stone Edge. I mean, you get all the coverage you need.
Exactly.
You get Knockoff. You can even Stealth Rock.
Exactly. And he's got a million Stealth Rockers.
Yeah. All right, we are on to the final team. I think
the two best.
This is all right. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. This is fucking absurd.
Uzi apologized to everyone for not making Dragapult 20 points and not bumping up Z Hypnosis Circuitry.
What does Z Hypnosis do? Because I have no idea.
+1 speed.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so, obviously only a 60% chance to hit. But even if you don't put something to sleep, that's a Circuitry, dude. What did it have, like 170 base special attack or something?
I think Circuitry and Mega Zam are like the two highest special attack stats, maybe. Yeah, that's insane. And it gets grass coverage for those pesky ground types with Energy Ball.
Exactly.
Holy
I think this is
shit.
the best combo of Z Captains. Because he could bring either one every week.
I am going to have to agree with you. Yeah, it hurts my brain to think about how I would prep for that.
Yeah, base 173 special attack, base 83 speed. So at +1, I know that's outspeeding Zero Aura.
Does Z Hypnosis still, like, does it do anything besides raise speed? Does it also, like, put something to sleep?
So it automatically raises your speed no matter what, and then it also just does Hypnosis. So it's still a 60% accurate move.
Okay, but it's a +1 speed with a chance. That is...
It also gets Z Rain Dance, which I believe raises your speed, so then you can click Thunder.
I'm stopping the video. This is too much. We get to the end, and now I find this team. That is... Wow.
Yeah.
He also has... So... Not like quote-unquote like high-tier defensive core, but I think it's super solid between Registeel, Weezing, and Hitmontop.
I mean, he's going in jokes because he drafted Hitmontop.
Oh, come on now.
I don't know why.
Come on, dude.
Hitmontop is a go, bro.
That has nothing to do with its battle prowess, you buffoon. So he's got Intimidate. Weezing is super... I mean... Registeel is more especially defensive, right?
I think it's even. I think it can be whatever you want.
People usually spec specially, I think.
Yeah, but now it gets body press too.
Dude, okay. Sorry, I am on a tangent here, but Galarian Moltres also.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is like an underrated threat offensively.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is awesome. It's something I've been meaning to try sometime. But yeah, its ability is Berserk, right? And you just get a... Yeah, this team is so fucking scary.
He also, shout out Will for DMing Uzi and me separately, asking, please don't take Delphox for Zip's team.
Please no.
He was like, are you going to take Delphox? I was like, I don't know, man. There's not really a plan here. He was like, please don't.
You're like, no, I'm taking the one that's more objectified. You can have it. I also like that he got a sand core at the end. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize that.
I don't know that he will bring it much because it doesn't really synergize with the rest of the team. But I mean, Stoutland is kind of scary, actually, when you get it in sand. I mean, it's not like...
got really good coverage.
Yeah, it's not Excadrill or anything, but you can't sleep on it because it's pretty good.
Yeah, it gets play rough and stuff, too, that you wouldn't expect.
He could run Intimidate on it as well and just have like a double Intimidate core with him on top, which is fun.
Yeah. Also, I want to give, we talked about how good Mega Pinsir is. I want to give Mega Kangaskhan a shout out. It doesn't have Seismic Path, but people sleep on just how hard it is to prep for Mega Kangaskhan. It can Wish Pass. It can really easily run special sets too, because like Parental Bond, Thunderbolt, like Corviknight's not switching into that.
No, I gotta. Yeah. I mean, when your best two Pokemon are a Ghost and Normal type, that's pretty cool. I gotta get props for that.
And we talked about how easily Xurkitree can snowball, so can Serperior. And
oh yeah, I didn't even.
Serperior's biggest blocks are flying types and dragon types, even though it does get Dragon Pulse, but like certain dragon types. So you get Xurkitree that just annihilates most flying types, and Dragapult, which is the fastest dragon, isn't it? I mean, Mega Sceptile didn't get drafted.
Yeah, it is. It for sure is. Yeah, this team is pretty good. Plus, he could glare for some of his other Pokemon as well. Like Xurkitree, let's say he brings Z Dragapult, then he brings glare support, so Xurkitree is still outspeeding some things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Z Dragapult literally got banned from regular NetDex letter. So,
I mean, I'm not surprised to hear that.
And Primarina's really good. It was a Woods kill leader.
I think. How would I compare it to Piplups? Or, I mean, if that team isn't up here, I don't know. I'd probably do like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd do something like this. So, yeah, I would say I'm not going to look at each team page again. The only one I'm going to worry about tiering is like the Elite Contender one. I think as far as like the tiering goes, this is where I would put it, but I might change the order some.
I could also see the Steenees bumping up to can win it all just because those Z threats are just. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there's a lot. Like, I don't know. I would say maybe like these three right here, Piplups, Jer, and Will, could all maybe bump up.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, maybe you could too. To be honest, like your team is, you had a meme theme, but you actually ended up getting a pretty decent team.
Yeah, Uzi's a really smart drafter, and like, you know, I think mine is appropriately placed. I'm excited because I've been trying to like learn a more offensive play style, so this is gonna force that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm gonna try and tier the top three real quick. I do think those are the top three, or at least my favorite three.
I think so too.
So
I don't
it
have
was
any. Yeah,
Isaac.
I think that's the weakest of the three. Isaac's.
So there's Isaac, Lee, and Sandslashes. So this one,
PTB and MYS are the ones we're looking at.
They're all super good.
I know I have a little bit of bias because Lee and I DM'd a lot about this team, but I do think the TrailBlazikens are the best team.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, because isn't Maxi doing this thing where I believe Maxi refuses to draft a Mega until Game Freak puts them back in the game?
That's his thing?
Yeah, and like
I did not know that.
Look at PTB real quick because Stantler and Survivor, are they really gonna come? Corsola and Carnivine might not really come either. Trying to look for a differentiating factor there.
I'm not so sure that Isaac's is third, to be honest. The Caesar, dude, I've got to put it first. I can't help it, dude.
This ain't Wood.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't matter. It's Caesar. I don't know. I think I might just leave it there. I really like Max's team. I think I just think the first five are so good.
Yeah.
And then like you can legitimately just bring those every week. And then you have options between a Selgor, Drifloon with Unburden is super good, Sandslash can be good, and Zarud is good. I don't think he's gonna bring Stantler, Carbink, or Survivor much. But I think other than those three, like it might be my favorite.
So, here's my reasoning, just to get it out there. We talked about those top five. Look at his top
seven. I know.
And like he got three of the best mons. Megaladios, Clefable, and Aegislash, dude. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's tough, man.
I also just love a top heavy draft. Like yeah.
If we were going on actual logos though, I mean this logo is straight fire.
There you go.
I mean I like a lot of like pretty much all these logos. This logo though is so good. Holy cow.
Dark Nasty's in Fuego.
This one's terrible. The rest are pretty good.
I love Duffy's logo too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Montreal Milotic.
It's super solid. I like the Mimikyus logo. It says established 2020. That's pretty clever. This one's like they're just all clever, you know.
Yeah, Uzi's is really cool too. Karachi Kingdras. It's really cool.
Yeah, they're like shiny as well. I think I'm leaving Max's team first though. I agree that Lee's team is super good and may honestly deserve number one, but I'm gonna give it to Max. That's my number one.
Like I said, I do have a little bit of bias.
Do you have a tier list? Like, have you been making one on the side or just been following along with this one?
Nope. This is the one.
Okay. Because I was just gonna like pull yours up as well to see if it differed much, but it's a collaborative effort. It'd be hilarious if I was just making a completely different one.
So you
probably put Lee first, Who would you put in your top 3? Because it may not be the same top 3 I put up here.
No, I agree. Like I think with the discussions we had, I think those are the top 3. I would only swap Maxi and Lee. That would be my only change.
That's fair. I mean, you have a very great case for that. Like, they're both super solid. It's hard to like nitpick them at all.
It's also interesting that one has a Kyurem and one has a Garm.
Yeah, offensive ice types.
Wall breakers, yeah.
Very, very interesting. Well, it's going to be a fun season. I'm not playing it in, obviously, so I'm excited to watch the matches and see how it goes. The people of IBL, it's a lot like Woods, where people bring very interesting and creative sets week to week. You don't see a lot of people rage and get upset,
Right. It's a Pokemon Draft League, man. If you're getting super tilted, you're doing it wrong.
That is so true.
You're just doing it wrong. Who cares, man? I'm gonna like all these people no matter who beats me. Oh shit! I got a first round bye. Would you look at that?
Yeah. Did Uzi leak the script? What's going on here? He's getting sloppy in his old age, man. What the hell? At least it's not like played out. Like, what if it was already like the match is already like out to here? Oh, look, here we go. The free agency trades. So, yeah, you were right about all those. So he's done making transactions then.
Yeah, I just read his post. It'd be kind of fucked up if I got those wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
Latios in pole position.
I don't know how that's determined, but very good. All right, well, that's going to conclude it for me. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No. Any joke that you thought I took too far, I apologize for.
Okay, well...
Except for Breck.
Yeah, Breck, honestly, you can eat shit. You didn't give me a logo. Good times.
Also, Duff, I really hope that you put your life in the hands of RNGesus, and you drop Dunsparce, and I hope that you aren't smote upon too heavily.
I gotta say, I was sticking up for Duff, but after the news of him dropping Dunsparce, I am pretty upset with him.
No, I love Duffy. I've referred to him as my boyfriend over Marissa before. I just think that's a tough move, man. It's a tough one.
It is. It's hard to get behind it. It's really hard to rally behind a move like that.
Yeah, dude, you randomize your draft and it blesses you with Dunsparce, and you're like, eh.
Yeah, that is a catastrophic move on the PR front. Like
total middle child move.
It's gonna it's gonna take some time to recover. To get his reputation back. Like in video games when you do something and you lose reputation in the town.
Everyone hated that.
Yeah. Fucking everybody. There was not a single person who agreed with that move.
So no, nothing else to add.
Alright, well, yeah, let's peace out. It's like 2.5 hours or some shit.
We did more for this one than we did for Woods, which we're both in.
Yeah, well, it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, this is a blast. It always is. Love you, man.
Love you, bro. Well, Zip and Kuda love action. Don't tell Marissa. Hopefully she went to bed.
Or Duff.
Duff could know. He fucked up by dropping Dunsparce. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All right. Take it easy, y'all. We're getting off. Like the rest of Zip's team.
Oh, no.